Welcome, everyone, to the Flow Zone. Today, a special guest, Erin Pittanaro. She's an amazing transformational practitioner, and Hillary Wells, who is co-founder of the Move and Flow Studio. And this is our first podcast, which I'm completely excited about. My favorite topic, flow, which started when I was 16 years old. I started studying flow leadership as a ski instructor, cold nights, goggles on, no helmets at that time. And I realized that flow was a form of leadership. And today we're going to share about what it feels like to push versus flow. So I'll pass it to you, Hillary.
We developed a means of getting people into flow, which is a workout basically that we use in different ways to get people into a state of flow called FlowFIT. Pam has been really studying the nervous system and the brain. And so she's the brainy scientist behind this. And I bring over 20 years of fitness instruction experience as a NIA instructor. And then I've been teaching FlowFit for about 5 years now. And I'm really passionate about helping people regulate their nervous system, helping people find their own energy flow. I've had a lot of struggles with depression and eating disorders in my life, at times where I was totally stuck and not flowing. And so to be able to regulate myself and get into a state of flow whenever I want, and to be able to stay there and sustain it and increase it, has been a really powerful practice for me. And then bringing that to other people and allowing people to also experience that state of flow has been really, really exciting. And I'm really excited about our Move and Flow studio, our online studio that just launched this week with amazing instructors and amazing classes. And I'm just really excited to get this work out into the world.
And Erin, fill us in on you a little bit.
Yeah. So thank you, ladies, for having me a part of this. I'm really honored to be asked to be a part of the first episode. Knowing Pam for quite some time and meeting Hillary and being in the spaces with you guys has really helped me evolve in my conscious awareness and my body and my spirit. And it's just been a beautiful thing to be in your spaces. So thank you for this. I'm Erin Pittanaro. I'm a social worker by trade. A transformational is that I'm a leader. And I have led myself through many different iterations of evolution in my business and in my home. And so as a boy mama and a wife and a helper and healer, I take the same skills within my home, helping my home grow and stay steady and grounded. I take that out into the world as the CEO of my business, The Alchemy Experience. It's more than coaching. It's deeper than social work and therapy. It's a full experience. And that is, in a nutshell, what I do, primarily working with women to really help them reinvent themselves in any season. And it's been just such a beautiful, beautiful path evolving.
I'm thinking, how does flow impact our mental health? And when we push, that push does something to our psyche. It's a lesson that all of us have learned throughout the years is push messes with our mind. So let's talk about that a little bit.
I think there's a time and a place for it, right? I think it comes down even to as women when we're having children, there's push and there's pause. And so I think that's a huge piece. We're wired for that. And so the masculine and feminine energies that work together and tapping into both of that is really important. And I think in a fast-paced world that we're in as businesswomen, we feel that masculine energy of push, 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 go, go, go. And that leads to burnout. So we need to also understand that feminine energy and balancing it. And when I say balance, nothing's ever fully balanced, but understanding how to pendulum swing through both. I think when it comes to from a mental health standpoint, you guys can speak to it more on the energetic side. Hillary, you can definitely speak to that. But from a mental health standpoint, when we're constantly pushing, there's no room for really sitting back and evaluating what is happening. So I like to call it fire and flow. I like to say, there's a time for us to flow through what we're doing and be in a flow state, which is just so subconscious. And you're in the God zone and you're in this like closest to your highest self creative space. But there's also time where we have routine that's just this fire. We're going, we're pushing. It's like when we're working out, there's this like, we're really pumping, we're sweating, and then there's time for this stretch and flow. So from a mental health standpoint, if we're operating too much in that masculine energy, too much in that push, it really can damage our nervous system. And what it can do is increase our cortisol levels. It can increase different body that when we do rest, we feel unsafe. And then our fight or flight system is activated constantly. And we feel like we have to be going 24/7 in order to just feel safe in our body. So a lot of what I do is helping people unwire those patterns, also through the transformational coaching piece of that. High level women, CEO women making, 500,000, $1 million a year. They've been operating at this high level for so long. They're afraid to let go and delegate things because they're afraid that they're going to start failing. And it's unwiring those conditioning patterns that they've had and helping them feel safe in that process. So the brain is a really powerful tool. Our neural pathways are created by belief systems that we hold. And so it's really creating new belief systems in a flowful, safe way.
I want to say, Erin, I loved what you were talking about. And I felt in my body when you were talking about the push, I stopped breathing. I got tense. And then I was like, whoa, okay, breathe. Because I was going into that sensation of that push and how unhealthy and how unsustainable it is. And it eventually becomes disease, right? It becomes either a mental health problem or a physical problem or both, problems with relationships. So it really comes down to something as simple as the breath. And that's where we start. We start in bringing people into their bodies. We start breathing to regulate and get out of that sympathetic dominance, that spin cycle of stress. The part about pushing, probably we're all type A personalities. We want to get things done. In the human design perspective, if you've ever had human design done, it's a great way of understanding yourself. I'm a manifesting generator, which is somebody that can very, very quickly make things happen. But that doesn't mean I'm making the right things happen, right? That doesn't mean that I'm doing it in a way that's sustainable or in a way that's really going to be healthy for me. So my challenge is to learn to lean back a little bit, breathe, wait to respond. And it's a practice, waiting for sometimes months or years for something to evolve. Has now evolved to FlowFIT. I had my class for many years. And it was this amazing class, and it still is. And we had this beautiful healing circle of a class. And yet I knew that this container needed to be expanded. I needed to get this work more out in the world. But I was like feeling a nudge, but I'm not going to take action on it because I know that the right thing will show up. And I had to hold and wait and breathe and keep this going. I just was like, I want to get this work out there. And then finally, at the end of 2025, Pam said, we need to teach an intention class together. I said, great, we're going to do it New Year's Eve intention class. And it was so inspiring to both of us. And Pam was like, I've been wanting to get an online studio going. And I'm like, I want to be in your online studio. And then 3 other teachers came in and said, we want to be part of it. And it was the perfect time and the perfect timing in the universe for that to happen. But if I hadn't waited and had tried to push to make something happen, it probably wouldn't be a success.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Everything you're saying makes just the energetic alignment, right? It's just coming into each other's worlds at the right time. I'm in belief of that. And I think the universe is doing its thing and we've just got to let it and trust.
And it's an amazing when you allow it to naturally happen. The word organic was in one of my meetings today, and the organic growth of these programs in the world is really important. And sometimes it's hard to be patient. I'm a Taurus.
Funny enough, I'm an Aquarius, so that's a hothead. So that's a whole nother realm. But also, I'm a projector, Hillary, but I'm actually a self-projected projector, which is like 2% of the population. So
You're a self-what? Sorry.
Self-projected projector, which is really interesting. And I learned this a couple years back and I'm like, wow, this makes so much sense. So for those of you that may not feel like you're fitting the mold, that's kind of where I've always kind of felt on the fringe of everything. And so there's this perception for me, I have to try to fit in. And when I learned, oh, I don't have to fit in, I can just belong. I can just be right here. And I'm okay with being on the fringe of everything because that's by nature what I was made to be, is to push in when I'm needed in a flowful way, not push in a way of like, I have to do this to gain something, right? And so I'm learning how to do that and use my natural why I'm here on this earth. But I think for so long, I was always thinking to myself, people don't understand me. People don't get me. I'm just so different. I'm like, what, why? What is wrong with me? Why can't I just explain who I am and what I do? And now knowing, being a projector, being self-projected projector, that I am a smaller part of the population, it doesn't make me any less valuable, but people aren't meant to completely understand my gifts because they're mine. And so that's been something in flow that I'm learning, of just letting who I am evolve and be at peace with that and not have to, like to your point, Pam, make it go so quickly. So it's a process of learning yourself. And I think being a part of what you guys are doing in the Flow Studio, and I think it's going to be helpful for so many people that might feel like I do on the fringe.
That's really cool, Erin. I love that you're having that journey of going, we need different people. We need you.
We can't all be generators like you guys, you know, like we've got to have the people that just say, well, I don't create the thing necessarily. I kind of project the light out for you guys to create it yourselves and walk the path with you. So
I love the part about our gifts because I feel like that our contribution of who we are to this world is flow consciousness. It's not absorbing other people's belief systems of who we're meant to be. It's finding our own authentic self and standing in that power and flowing with it and then contributing that gift to the world. Thank you so much for being here today. And I feel like this is time to flow on.
yeah, been
Thank
great
you.
for this conversation, and I'm honored to be a part of your world, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erin. Thanks, Pam.